We are going live today, and today's video we are going to be talking about getting unstuck, okay? When you feel you're in like kind of a funk or you feel like you're in a low, you feel like your creativity, your productivity, just your motivation or your discipline is just sinking. You feel like it's just not there the way it usually is or the way it's supposed to be. And you feel like there's just something kind of blocking you. So this is definitely something I have felt in the past. Everyone goes through these cycles. So we're going to talk about that today and kind of just what I would do, what I've done in the past to kind of work through that and what's worked for me. So let's begin. I'm just going to get my notes ready. Okay. So I'm going to make this also a Q&A as well. So like whatever questions that you guys have, just drop those in the chat and we can go through those. So no worries. So we're going to start basically with just talking about why. Okay, so everyone gets into a low or a point of when you feel stuck. When you know that you are in this feeling of being stuck, it's usually when you feel drained or you feel overworked and you feel like you're not in the flow of things. You feel like things are just being thrown off because you're not using your potential or you're not using your creativity in the way that you should be using it. So that's kind of like this inaction. So this feeling of inaction where you feel like whatever you want to take action on, whether that be maybe your health, maybe your business, it's just not going the way that you want. We can definitely touch on that. I'll get back to that question. Actually, that actually ties into what we're going to talk about a little bit. So if you have free time from work and you don't feel like getting out of bed, what can you do? So what is stopping you from finding your creativity? I can go into a little bit of coaching with you, although obviously it's hard to coach on live, but just to get deeper into it, if you can just tell me, what do you feel, when do you feel the most creative and when do you feel like the most that you can take most action or be motivated or be disciplined? Like when do you feel the highest in those areas? And if you're watching the replay, you can journal about this as well. Journal this question out. When do you feel the most creative? When do you feel the most motivated? Okay. Now, motivation is different than discipline. Discipline is, I don't feel like going to the gym, but I'm going to go to the gym anyways. And motivation is, I feel like going to the gym. Let's go to the gym. Okay. So it's a little bit different, but when do you feel that spark of, I want to go to the gym. Let's go to the gym. Okay. It's different than discipline. So we don't want every day to be just only discipline, where obviously you want to have that discipline to bring yourself back into the motivation, back into the momentum. But how do we get ourselves into that motivated mindset? How do we get into ourselves into that flow, that creative flow? Okay, this is the feminine energy within the masculine energy. So we as women have masculine energy and we have feminine energy. Men have masculine and feminine energy as well. And it's about balance. And when you have them in balance, you're able to use them both strategically and in a healthy way. Okay, so let's just talk about the first thing that kind of pulls you out of this stuck feeling or this inaction is allowing yourself the space to reset. So I could have said allow yourself the time to reset, but time is very different from space. Okay, time, you can just have time, okay? And you could have nothing productive in that time, or you can use that time to do something productive. So it's not so much about the time or how much time you have, it's about what you do in that time. So allow yourself this space. So not so much just the time, but allow yourself the space to get unstuck, okay? So the first thing is to reset your body. So allow yourself the space to reset your body and reset your mind. Reset your mindset. Let's go into, what did you say here? So mornings typically, but also evenings after work, but with free days off of work, how to find motivation without obligations. So it sounds like to me, just from reading what you're saying, it sounds like you find motivation when you are obligated to do it. So maybe if you told a friend you're going to meet up and do this, said, and said, okay, and you're obligated to do it. Now you're more motivated. You're like, okay, I'm going to go because I told this person I'm going to go. So it's an obligation. I have to do it. Tell me if I'm wrong or tell me if I'm right, if I'm on the right kind of path there. But that's one way to hold yourself accountable. This is having an accountability partner or an accountability buddy. Okay. If you're going to the gym, there's a accountability partner that you're going to go with. This is going to help you stay motivated, stay on track with your goals. Okay. But it's not so much about getting unstuck. This is not really to get unstuck. This is just a way that you're recognizing where you usually are motivated without any form of discipline, without kind of pushing yourself to do anything. So the first thing I want to do is you want to allow yourself the space to figure out what's happening here. If you're constantly go, 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 the sense of inaction, there's an action in what you really want to do. There's an action in your creativity. There may not be an action in like just the things you're doing. You're still eating, you're still like, doing everything you need to do, working, but there's this inaction, this feeling of being stuck in life. So maybe there's emotional, like maybe you feel stuck emotionally. Okay. So how do we get that out? How do we get away from that feeling? Is allowing yourself the space, like I mentioned. So how does that look? What does that look like to allow yourself the space? It means, okay, so let's say you have a time to journal. Now, there's different types of journaling. So allowing yourself the space means like when you have this journal in front of you, you're allowing yourself to feel what you need to feel. Okay? So let's say you're feeling really like burnt out from the week. You're feeling really burnt out from maybe like family members, friends, people that are around you. Allow yourself to feel that and allow yourself to write that down and just acknowledge it. Okay, you're giving yourself the space. There's no other pressures, there's no other priorities but this journaling right now. Okay, if you guys also, while you're watching this video, if you're watching it live or if you're watching it in the replay, and you want to do this with me or do this alongside the video, get out your journals and allow yourself the space. Take a moment, take some deep breaths, okay? Put your hand on your stomach, one hand on the heart. This is a really good, fast way. It's really, really fast to just get you grounded and get you in the present moment. And you're going to journal about what are you feeling stuck about? Allow yourself to kind of unclog any pathways that are being stuck or being held back. Let it flow onto the paper. Let all the ideas, let all the emotions get out on the paper, on the page, okay? And a good way to do this is to just let yourself write for multiple pages. So if you guys have read The Artist's Way, I think it's, I don't forget her name, the first name, it's like something Cameron, The Artist's Way. She talks about the morning pages. And the reason why the morning pages are so energetic and so beneficial to you as a, just a human being, person that can create and be creative and have a flowing state of energy, is that it gets everything out. It gets things moving. It gets your energy up because you're like reawakening things that you didn't realize. You're leaving yourself the space. You're literally leaving yourself the space. It's kind of like if I clean out my closet and I throw a bunch of things out and now I'm leaving space. There's empty hangers. So now when I'm going shopping or something, I'm like, okay, well, let me fill my space because I just threw a bunch of stuff out. It's kind of the same thing with energy. You're just kind of throwing out old energy. So you're making space for new thoughts, new ideas, new creative flow. That's the idea behind journaling and just journaling to get it all out. Not journaling in a way, journaling is so many different things, right? You can journal out a journal prompt. Like when I tell you guys in videos, I say, write this specific journal prompt out and then answer it and go into a page of this specific answer, that whatever is coming to mind with this specific prompt. And then there's just free flowing journaling. And this is more the free flowing journaling where I want you to kind of do it in the morning pages style. And I don't want you to restrict yourself. Okay. Morning pages is 3 pages. It's typically 3 long pages. I think it's just single spaced, but allow yourself to just write with no kind of page number in mind. Just let yourself write. You can just say like, let me just start with 1 page. So there's not that much of a commitment. but just let yourself keep writing and writing and writing. And sometimes I'll do this, like today I did this actually. I journaled and I started with a paragraph. Kind of maybe 20 minutes later, I added another paragraph. And then maybe 3 hours later, I actually added like 4 more paragraphs. So my journaling of the day was this continuous pages and pages and pages, but it was in sections throughout the day. So it's like as I was getting new thoughts or new ideas, um, exciting ideas that made me feel creative, made me feel in the flow, I'm writing those out. I'm getting those on the paper. So then if they can even metastasize, maybe metastasize is kind of a weird word to use, but you know what I mean, like spread and grow even more. Okay, we're just growing these ideas. You want to just kind of use the momentum that you're getting. If you get a small idea, a spark, maybe a business idea, maybe something to do with health, maybe something that you want to change in your life about you as a person, different rebranding in your life, write it out and you're going to see what other ideas are going to come through. It's so much fun to just see, like, when you start writing something on a page, all these new ideas start flowing in and it's like a whole different experience. Okay, so I really want you guys to experiment with this. And you guys know I talk about it all the time. But this is how powerful journaling is. It's just getting the ideas flowing. Even if you want to do this in, like, let's say you want to do this in a prayer type of way or scripting type of way, you're writing as if all these ideas are already happening. So your journaling can go into what's currently happening, what your current ideas are, what is like the biggest desires that you have, and then it can go into your dream life, things that you really want, prayers that you have, and it's like a long list. So it's just going and going and going and flowing, and more ideas are coming to you. It's like all the ideas that you can have in a week, you're having in 1 hour. Okay, this is like really juicy work. So this is why I love to talk about this. Okay, so like I mentioned, space versus time. You're allowing yourself the space, not just the time, because right, time, you can allow yourself 3 hours. 3 hours of what? What does this rest look like? If it's rest where you're just scrolling on TikTok, that's not really regenerative. That's not going to feel, you're not going to have the juices flowing, you know. You might feel even more blocked because you're consuming, right? You want to be producing. You don't want to be consuming. Especially when you're trying to reset and recharge, the last thing you want to be doing is consuming things. So you're kind of stopping everything that's coming in, all these inputs into your senses, and you're just focusing on letting things out, letting things flow onto the page. So that's kind of the difference here that I really wanted to stress with time versus space. You're allowing yourself the space, the freedom, okay, to not worry about anything else, and you're just worrying about what you're writing on this page. This allows you to get the flow of things. Okay, so to go back, okay, so this is what I was going to say here. Another thing that we want to remember is that inaction leads to depression. So sometimes people feel depressed or they feel anxious, and it's actually because they're not in action. They feel idle. So you want to get away from idleness. Idleness is this kind of like dangerous thing to get into where you're mistaking it with rest. You're mistaking it with recharging, but it's actually idleness. And it's going to bring you into kind of a depressive state. Depression, if you ever seen like, you know, those videos kind of breaking down depression, it's deep rest. Deep rest. So you're in this deep rest state where you're not putting anything out into the world. You're not in the flow state. You're not in a creative state. So a quick way to turn that around is just get out a piece of paper and start writing. Get out a piece of paper and start drawing. Get out a piece of paper and start painting. Whatever you need to do to kind of put out outputs and not just inputs. Okay? We want to stop consuming for a little bit because it's overwhelming. It's overwhelming and it's paralyzing. Sometimes you consume so much and you have so many different ideas, so many different people telling you their advices, so many people, you know, so many different lifestyles you're seeing. If you're watching vlogs, if you're watching people on TikTok, people showing you their highlights of their life, different things going on. Maybe you're seeing people like old friends, maybe you're seeing people from high school, their accomplishments, their successes, and you're comparing. This is too many inputs. We're not meant to, as humans, to just consume all of this stuff, have all of this inputs. We need to kind of have this elimination. If you guys are reading or have ever read 4 Hour Work Week, Tim Ferriss goes into the elimination diet. An elimination diet Have the book in the other room. I should have brought it in here, but kind of just talks about how this is not like a diet. This is like a elimination in terms of like kind of essentialism in your life, or minimalism, where you're just kind of consuming the things that are the most necessary for what you need to get done, or the most necessary for your work. Okay, the most necessary for you, and then you're kind of cutting out everything else. And this is how to increase your productivity. This is how to increase your happiness, and just overall increase your creativity. So this is kind of what we're talking about today when we're talking about getting unstuck and getting into the flow of things, getting into a flow state. Getting into a flow state, the biggest thing that you see when people say how to get into a flow state, they say work right in the morning, empty stomach, because there's nothing distracting you. Your blood flow is going straight to your brain. It's not going to your digestive tract. When you're eating something, you're distracted. Your blood flow is going here, and it's not going to your brain. So the same thing with this elimination diet, where you're just focusing on the things that actually really matter for you to succeed or get to the goal that you want to achieve right now, right? You want to narrow things down, get crystal clear, focus energy, and it's not spread thin. You don't want to be spread thin. That's the last thing you want to be, okay? You want to be focused energy, and you want to be in a state of like elimination diet, like we just talked about in the 4-hour work week. So a few things that he talks about in that book, which I think is really cool and interesting, because I actually didn't think of a few of these things, but he says no nonfiction books other than this 4-hour work week, because like you're getting through this book, and no, I think it's like no shows or movies, or only one book allowed reading that is fiction, and it's like non-stimulating, and you're just reading it at night or something like that. No movies, no TV, no news, no news, absolutely no. Because news is so stimulating, and so it changes your energy. So if you're trying to get a goal done, let's say you want to, I don't know, you want to run this marathon, you need to train for this marathon. You need your entire focus to be about this, and you're eliminating everything else, eliminating all your distractions if you want to be successful in this goal. So sometimes it's going to be a little bit extreme, but you're doing this for a period of time. So especially if you're feeling stuck, if you find yourself that you check these boxes, like I'm saying, and you find yourself actually being very idle, it can lead to feelings of anxiety, feelings of overwhelm, feelings of depression. This is that inaction that we're talking about. So this is kind of my strategy. This is my formula to get unstuck. Okay, so I can answer any questions. Yeah, 100% relate to idleness equals depression. Yeah, exactly. So a quick way to get out of depression is to just do something. Your brain is, the last thing your brain is telling you when you're in depression is, oh, go do something. Go do something productive. Okay? But that's the exact thing that you want to be doing in that time. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat. The thing about going live is, and I've said this in my last live as well, is like, I can't cut out the parts where I'm not really saying all the stuff. But lives are better because they're more interactive. I can actually hear what you guys have to say and answer them, in live. So it's not like I'm recording a video, talking about it later. Okay, so another thing that I want you guys to focus on here is also to start small, okay? So especially if you're in a state of depression, if it's gotten to that point where you're feeling very depressed, very overwhelmed, very anxious, a lot of the times for me in the past, anxiety and depression have been hand in hand, as I've been someone that struggles with anxiety and depression in the past. And so this is very important to know that you have to start small. Okay, you have to start small and Like, let those small steps build momentum on their own. Momentum is actually pretty easy to build, and when it starts, it's easy to continue. The hardest part is starting, is to start getting that momentum going. Okay? And I want you guys to remove the pressure that everything has to be perfect. It does not have to be perfect. Like, you don't have to feel like the first step that you're doing, or the small step, has to be this grand step. That's the reason why you're not getting anything done. If you're putting this pressure on yourself, like, no, if I'm going to start this, let's say, business, or I'm going to start this health routine, it has to be like this, it has to be like this. No, at least you're starting with something, right? You don't want to be idle. You don't want to be in this state of inaction. You want to be in a state where, okay, like, we at least got something done, and now you're building upon that and you're learning from your mistakes. Now when you've done something small, a small step, you're able to take that so much further the next time around, because now you're developing your toolbox of resources to now develop those steps even more and grow those steps even more. So that's my favorite part of this, is in, like, just getting started, the small steps. You're going to see the increase of energy. You're going to see this, like, increase of momentum just naturally. Okay? But it starts with you. Okay? It starts with just beginning. Even just small things. So if you guys want me to go into small steps of specific things, drop those in the comments. And we can definitely talk about that. I'm going to try to think of a few examples. Just looking over my notes right now. One thing that I've noticed in the past, and I've noticed with specific clients of mine, is that environment plays a big role, and how you feel in your environment. A really great and quick way, and especially in my personal life, what I've found to get me out of this feeling of unstuck and this feeling of inaction or this feeling of depression, is to just kind of change my environment a little bit. Whether that means moving things around or physically moving. Okay, so let's say you're working in your desk in your house. You work from home, you're in the desk, your family's home, whatever your family situation or your home situation may be, your working situation, just switching that environment. Switching your environment can really make a huge impact in terms of getting unstuck. Let's say you take a few days, if you have the means, take a few days and stay in a hotel, stay in another city, maybe a city like that's just a couple towns away, or maybe a whole state away or a province away, depending on where you live. Taking a vacation, or it can mean just going to a local cafe and you're just kind of working in a different space. You're able to clear your mind. You're able to turn your phone off. Turn your phone off, like physically turn your phone off, where it's not just turned over, it's actually physically turned off. Okay? You're not getting any notifications. You're just able to focus. So you can do this journaling practice when you do this. This is like, you're just kind of like building, you're doing like a little bit of atomic habits here. You're going into a new workspace, bringing your journal, turning everything off, you're focusing. This is how you really narrow in, focus in, and have extreme growth. You're going to see like, whoa, all the ideas are going to come flowing to you. It's going to be like, whoa, you're going to get so inspired, so motivated, and it's going to just keep moving and moving, and the momentum is just going to grow. So you really want to be focusing on this momentum and starting small rather than motivation. Not so much discipline. Like, that's kind of, the discipline is the fact that you're just kind of getting into it. You're doing the first step. That's what we want to really do. That's what we want to encourage. But you really want to focus on the momentum. Okay, so let's say you want to incorporate some habits into your life. Okay, I've talked about this before. I've really stressed this with my clients. This is what really helped my clients actually the most, is to create a list of non-negotiables. Whether that list is one line long, 1 point long, or it's 3. Okay, I usually like to aim for 1 to 3 points of non-negotiables a day. This is kind of like a base, a standard that you're setting for yourself, that you're like, okay, regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm going to be doing this one thing. This one thing, I have to do it. This is just like what I'm going to do. I'm going to have this as my baseline. So that could be every single day, no matter what, I am getting on the treadmill, and I'm going to be on that treadmill at 3, incline 10 for 20 minutes. Okay? That's very oddly specific, but it's just an example. Okay? It's something that if you check that off, which you will check it off, it's your non-negotiable, you're going to feel accomplished. Not only you're going to feel accomplished, you're going to get that momentum going. So now you're like, okay, I got something done. I'm feeling accomplished. I'm feeling that sense of accomplishment, that sense of fulfillment. It's bringing that momentum going. It's bringing that momentum up. And now I'm able to get this, and this done throughout the day. So this is kind of what we're aiming for when I say momentum and creating a non-negotiable list. This is a 1 to 3 long list, 1 to 3 point long list. You don't want to overwhelm yourself, and you definitely don't want to burn yourself out while you're trying to unburn yourself out. And the reason why I say a non-negotiable list, even though we're talking about getting out of burnout, is because burnout comes when you feel like you're not compensated. You feel like you're not feeling that fulfillment for what you're putting out. Okay? So you want to feel the feeling of fulfillment. You want to feel the feeling of accomplishment. How do we get that? Having some non-negotiable they're going to accomplish every single day. You don't want to make this super out there, super far, super unattainable. That's such a big goal of yours. These goals, it's amazing to have them. Huge, massive goals that make other people uncomfortable because they're so big. We love those types of goals. But those goals, you want to write them somewhere else. Right now, we're getting out of this feeling of inaction and this feeling of stuckness. For whatever period of time it takes to get out of that kind of state, we want this goal to be achievable. Okay, so it's very simple. It could be making your bed every morning. Now, I want you guys to strive a little bit higher than making your bed every single morning, but maybe that's one of them. Maybe that's one of the non-negotiables. Okay, amazing. It's done. You feel accomplished. On to your next one. Maybe it's a really big one. Non-negotiable is the working out. Maybe it's 30 minutes a day you're doing at the gym. 30 minutes a day you're doing a little mat workout. Maybe you have a specific set workout program, and guys, this is super easy to do. You just get on YouTube. Okay, there's 7 days of the week. Let's say you want to do it 7 days of the week. And maybe there's rest days, which mean your stretch days. So you can look up stretching videos, total body stretching on YouTube, 30-minute long video, add it to a playlist. Okay, you can literally add it to the playlist in terms of your Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, so Sunday, stretching. Monday, legs. You're doing a little kind of maybe a leg workout video. Add that to the video, add that to the playlist. So now on YouTube, you have a playlist ready. The tab's open on your screen. You just need to open that tab, and you already know what day it is. It's Monday. Okay, you're doing legs. Plop on that video. You're getting on your mat, and you're just going to do that video. It doesn't require a gym membership. It doesn't require equipment. You can genuinely do workouts, get a good, fulfilling workout done with nothing. With nothing. Even if you don't even have a mat, pull out a blanket, pull out a sheet, put it on the floor, and get it done. Okay, so there's a lot of ways you can kind of get the momentum going, and you're creating a structure for yourself. You're creating a non-negotiable list, this feeling of structure, so that you can feel this okay, I've done this, and now I have the rest of the day to my creativity is just flowing. Now I'm like, okay, I want to do this, But as long as you've got those non-negotiables done, now you have this free time to work on everything else or get these ideas unstuck. And again, you don't want to be filling the day, and you definitely don't want anything on your non-negotiable list to be consuming. Okay, so sometimes people feel depressed. They feel this feeling of inaction, like I mentioned, and they want to just kind of sit, watch a movie, sit, watch a show, sit, kind of scroll on TikTok. This is not what I'm recommending in this video, unfortunately. Okay, it's going to be something that you're not consuming anything. You are outputting something. Okay, so like I mentioned, you're journaling something. Maybe you're cleaning something in your house. Maybe there's parts of your wardrobe that you want to clean. And like I said, don't make it so unachievable, unattainable. Don't say we're going to clean the entire wardrobe, clean my entire room on this day. Maybe it's so hard to get that done. So you're going to take your time. You're going to say, I'm going to just do pants. Maybe I'm just going to only do pants. I'm going to go through all my sweatpants, all my jeans, anything that's bottoms. Okay, pants. I'm going to go through that all on this exact day, and I'm going to carve out the time to go through that. That's it. So some type of cleaning that you're going to do every single day where you feel like, okay, accomplished. You're also refreshing your space. Like I said, inaction, the feeling of stuckness usually sometimes has to do with your environment. How do you feel in your environment? That's another thing to journal about when you're in that flow state and you're journaling. You turn everything off, turn off your distraction, you're getting the journaling state. Talk about, how does your environment make you feel? Do you feel creative in your environment? Do you feel in a flow state in your environment? Or do you feel like it's holding you back? Does it stress you out when you look around? Does it overwhelm you? What feels overwhelming to you? And target that. How can we not eliminate things that overwhelm you, but how can we increase your ability to handle those things? Right? Life does not just get not stressful. It's your ability to handle that stress, your ability to deal with that stress. That's what needs to change. You cannot eliminate all the stress. Obviously, there's things that are really stressing you out and you need to get rid of them. Maybe somebody in your life that's just like a bad friend and they're just like really just not adding any love into your life or any peace. They're just taking away peace, okay? Those types of things you can eliminate. Those types of things you can decrease. But a lot of the times with life, there's not going to be a time where there's no stress. There's always going to be a time where there's stress. So you need to increase your ability to handle that stress. Okay? So this is how we do it. Journaling and figuring it out. You are your biggest asset in a way, right? You know how to handle yourself. You know what to do. It's just you have trouble getting it done. So this is what I'm recommending to you, because I know how that feels. I've been there in the past. I know how that feels. Like, I know how it feels to be on that side. I know how it feels to be on the side where, like, okay, I'm actually have non-negotiables. I'm getting them done. I feel this fulfillment. I'm in this state of momentum, and it's amazing. And I want you guys to feel that. So this is how we get it done. We have to start small, do the small steps. And it's just going to be a whole different type of vibe, and that momentum is just going to feel so much better. So let me know if you guys have any questions about those. Just going to see if I have many more notes on these. But like I said, guys, you want to allow yourself this space. And everything that we just talked about also allows yourself the space as well. So not just the journaling, but when you get a lot of stuff done, let's say maybe in the morning, you got your non-negotiables done in the morning. Now you're allowing yourself the space, because you're not consuming a bunch of stuff. You're allowing yourself like extra space to get unstuck, to get these ideas flowing. Even if you're a writer, let's say you're a writer and you just feel so stuck. Obviously you feel so stuck if you're just consuming things. You need to be outputting things. You need to just be putting just getting a bunch of writing out, even if it's just horrible. Like, just knowing that you're going to just say, okay, let me just write 3 bad pages. And then maybe after you get 3 bad pages out, the good pages are going to start flowing in. Maybe now you're writing and it's just all coming to mind, because you allowed yourself the space to get out the bad. You allowed yourself the space, okay? So please be kind to yourself. Allow yourself the space to work through things. Okay, this works with, like, this is also the same thing with trauma, guys. I work with a lot of clients that have trauma, and the best thing to do when changing the perspective on trauma, changing your perspective on yourself from a place of healing, from a place of trauma in the past, it's to really allow yourself the space to get that all out and write all those things out, and allow yourself to feel those emotions, allow yourself to feel those feelings. And it always comes down to journaling. I know that's all I ever talk about. I just actually recently made a video on journaling as well. I'm going to link a bunch of stuff in the description of this video as well. Like, let me actually add that to the description. Have a mindfulness guide as well. And the mindfulness guide is very intentional. And I think a lot of the times people live in this world and they're just going so fast. We're just going so fast through life. And they're missing out on so much creativity, and they're getting stuck. They're just feeling stuck in life because they're like, it's all going so fast. Like, of course you're not going to have creative moments. You're not going to feel inspired if you're going so fast and everything is just like about consuming and It's just not going to feel good, right? Okay, so I'm just going to update this. I'm going to add my links to these in the description. So the mindfulness guide that I have, it's honestly a pretty short guide, but it's such a good guide because it's like, how do you slow life down? This is exactly how you slow life down. So I'm excited for you guys to have access to that. There's a lot more I wanted to put here in the description, but the first thing I linked is the mindfulness guide, and I just added it now, which is great. I love it. Yeah, so let me know if you guys have any more questions or any other things that you specifically want me to talk about. Even just like video ideas, if you're watching this in the replay, anything that you guys want me to specifically talk about, because I help a lot of my clients with different issues, and maybe there's a specific way that you want me to explain it, or maybe there's a specific problem that you want me to target. And I want to get more specific on my channel because I feel like it's sometimes I'm very broad when I talk because I like to be, I guess, more inclusive and include more people's situations and make it more, you know, customizable. But I really want to also start zeroing in on specific problems so we can actually have like a game plan for those specific areas. So let me know. You can just comment this video or any of my videos. Pretty good with comments, answering all my comments and stuff and getting back to you guys, which I do love hearing your feedback. Okay. But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's much we can go into here. I've basically said it all. If you are just joining, watch the replay, start from the beginning, and actually implement these things. I think the most important thing is to actually implement these steps. You can watch all the videos in the world, but until you actually implement them, obviously nothing's going to change, right? My biggest motto is nothing changes if nothing changes. And it's so true. Like the easiest thing to do, and actually it's so much more beneficial to you, is if you actually get out a journal and you actually start doing these things as you're watching this video. Because if I tell you to do this journaling and you don't actually do it and you're like, okay, I'm going to write on my to-do list to do it tomorrow, why would you want to make it a chore that has to be like pushed off to tomorrow? You want to get it done. Like you want to do it now because you're in the flow of it. You're in the momentum of it. You're already watching the video. I'm already telling you, do it, do it, do it. So it's like you might as well just get out a journal and start writing. Get out a paper and start writing. Even if you have to go on your notes app of your phone and just start writing. Maybe a notes app, like maybe a little tab on your computer, and just start writing. Okay, you can delete it after, but at least you're just going to get out some thoughts. Get it out. Get out some thoughts. And you're not, and sometimes people are like, what do I write down? What do I write down? How do you start writing? You just start thinking. What's on your mind? Today was blah, blah, blah. It was a shit show. Nothing was going well. Maybe it starts out like that, right? Your journaling is just going to start out messy. It's going to start out ugly. And then it's going to start to progress. And you're going to be like, okay, you know what? Let me stop writing about this. Let me write about this. But I really want to get what? This promotion or this specific acceptance into this program or something. You're writing a specific, maybe you're getting into your desires. Like I talked about so many different prompts we can kind of segue into. Work with that. Write it out. Type it out. Obviously, it's best on paper. If you're just someone that just doesn't have a paper and pen with you, obviously get a paper and pen with you. That's the best idea. Like, guys, come on. If you guys have a paper and pen, let me know, okay? If you have a, like, come on. Everyone has a paper and pen. Even having a specific pen. I think I recently made, it hasn't been uploaded yet, but I have a video about scripting and journaling. And I talked about, like, people like to get so specific with this and they like to use a specific pen. Like, make sure you're making it like a practice. But if you're just getting into it, you're at least whatever. We're just starting, okay? We just want to start. So you're just going to write regardless of whatever you have. So this is so fun, guys. Trust me. This is so exciting and so fun. You're going to really start to enjoy this process. Like, I actually love the feeling of journaling. Like, after I'm done journaling, I'm like, I feel so energetic. My energy feels so like awakened, and it's like the flow state is in. This is what I want you guys to feel. This is what I want you guys to get. This is the flow state, okay? The flow state is a beautiful state to be in. And like I mentioned, how to get in the flow state in just your work day is to get stuff done in the beginning of the day, and you're being in a fasted state. Working in a fasted state, you're going to see it's a completely different state of working. You're going to see, okay, my mind is not on other things. My mind is so focused. Even right now, guys, I haven't eaten since, I don't know what time. Right now it's 7:44 p.m. And I haven't eaten since I haven't eaten for like 5 hours. Probably, okay, maybe not 5. Probably 4 hours. I haven't eaten for 4 hours, so my stomach is empty, and I'm in that a little bit hungry state, but I'm not where I'm like super hungry. It's like discomforting, and it's like thing, but like you're focused. I'm actually focused, and I'm actually able to talk, and I'm like getting in this flow state where I'm like, okay, I'm kind of done all the points I wanted to say on this live, but I can just keep talking, and if someone has a question, I can answer that question. And I feel like your energy is so much better when you're on an empty stomach and you're just able to just focus and zero in. Even some people find themselves in a good flow state in the evening. If you feel like after in the evening when everyone's gone to sleep, maybe in the nighttime when everyone's gone to sleep, in the morning when everyone's still sleeping, you're in this flow state because nothing's distracting you. The day hasn't happened yet. Or maybe the day has already passed. You're able to really compartmentalize that day, and then you're able to focus. So find that period of focus for you and get into a deep flow state and work. Get everything done that you need to get done. See the difference. At least try it, right? If I tell you to do something, I suggest you do something, and you find it's working for you, you're probably going to make your own kind of version of it. You're going to make a little bit of a customization. Like if I'm saying the best time is in the morning, and you find, okay, well, actually I feel the most flow state in the nighttime when everyone falls asleep. Maybe there's just 2 hours in the nighttime where you just really get into this flow state. So use that time. Okay, my time maybe is in the morning, your time's in the evening. It's fine. Whatever works for you, it's customizable. Okay, but the whole point is you want to feel this flow state. You want to feel, what does it feel like to get into this feeling of like ideas are just flowing, creativity is flowing. This is especially important for like people that are running their own business, people that are like with me specifically, when I want to come up with a video idea, I'm not just coming up with a video idea because I searched on ChatGPT. What are some video ideas for me? No. I'm coming up with these video ideas when I give myself the space and the time to take away all the distractions and actually focus and zero in and journal. And not that I'm forcing these ideas out. I'm not saying like, okay, YouTube ideas, and I have this page and I'm just like forcing ideas out. No, half of my ideas, actually 90% of my ideas, the videos that you're watching, if you are new to my channel, the videos that you're gonna start watching, but if you're not new to my channel, the videos that you've seen that I've been making, those are videos that just come to me when I'm in this flow state, when I'm in this state of like creativity. And it's usually from journaling, and it's usually from like a state of inspiration. And sometimes that inspiration comes because I take inspiration from maybe something I saw. Maybe like I'm taking a walk in the park, and I have nothing around me, no distractions. Maybe I'm just by myself and a video idea comes into my mind. Maybe I'm showering and a video idea comes into mind. Maybe I'm cooking and I have no distractions. Maybe I'm not even watching a show. I'm just cooking. I'm by myself. I'm away from everything, away from the world. I haven't even touched my phone in hours. This is when those amazing video ideas come in. This is when ideas for my business come in. This is when ideas for my self-development, for my just personal development come in, where I'm like, this is like a complete rebrand. I can do this. I can really change this, this, and this. I should approach this problem like this. This is when those ideas start coming in. And trust me, I want you guys to feel that spot. I want you guys to experience what it feels like to be in that place. It feels good. Like the energy's feel good. It allows you, like, allowing yourself to have that space is so good. I feel like this is the most healthy thing you can do, is allowing yourself to have space regularly. This is not just something you do once a month. It's something you do regularly, allowing yourself space without the distractions. Okay, this is the most important part of this. People always want a huge list. They want a huge list of, like, what do I do? What are the practical steps? Give me a list of things to do to get to this outcome. Sometimes it's genuinely just one point, and you have to really sit with that point. I also made a video on meditating upon one single point. Maybe there's a quote from the Bible, a verse in the Bible, whatever I said, or a quote, and you just want to sit with that one thing. Sitting with one thing, not having to overstimulate yourself with so many different points, so many different words of advice. You do not need a million videos to get things done. You don't need a million videos to be productive. You just need one thing, maybe one book. Another thing, books. People want to read millions of books. Yes, if you want to be absolutely, like, really educated on one specific topic, let's say you want to really be educated on sleep. You can read a whole bunch of books to get really educated on that sleep topic, okay? And you're going to see an improvement in your sleep every book you read, because you're getting new knowledge, new inspiration and stuff. But to actually make an impact, all you need is one concept that can make a huge difference. He goes into the 80-20 principle. We talk about it so much, like, I'm just going to leave it. But my last live, I think I talked a lot about the 80-20. But all it takes is one principle. So with this video, I said, allow yourself the space. And yes, I've been talking about allowing yourself the space for this many minutes, almost an hour. And because people want a list, like I said, people want a list of things they want to do. They want a list of, like, the first step, this, second step, this. They want a list of, like, 6 things, but they don't want to implement any of them. That's the thing of, like, this overstimulation. You're overstimulating yourself. This is the elimination diet, like I just talked about, and like that's mentioned in the 4-hour work week, is genuinely just do the priority things. Just do the things that are the most important. If I'm telling you one piece of advice, if an entire video is about one piece of advice, it's to stress to you how important that one piece of advice is. It's been a long period. I got stuck in a space. I lost friend, family, job at a growing age. It looked hard, difficult to build again with that max potential. Tell me more about this. So do you feel stuck currently, or do you feel like you got out of that place? And what do you feel gets you out of that place? If you want to talk about it. Also, I'm sorry about this. You lost your family, friend, job. I definitely know how it feels to lose your job. I feel like because I'm just meant to do this, I'm meant to just be on YouTube, I'm meant to just help my clients, I'm meant to grow my business, working a job just usually doesn't work for me. And it just, like, usually just ends. That's just the experience I've had. But it actually does get to be easy, guys. People want a huge list of things. They want a huge roadmap, but it sometimes it's simple as one piece of advice and actually implementing that piece of advice and then growing from there. You're going to see the path start to make itself. You're going to see the next step when you take the first step. You're so worried about the entire path, this entire road to get to this end goal, but you haven't even taken the first step. You're like, what's step number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? How about you take the first step and now you're going to start seeing the second step. It's like when you're walking in the fog and it's like you have to see the path ahead of you. But to see the path ahead of you, you have to keep walking. You'll see the path as you keep walking. The path starts to reveal itself. The path starts to be uncovered as you move forward, as you take the next step, and then the next step, and then the next step. This is called taking small steps. Taking small steps, you're going to get there. All right? I think it's the most refreshing thing, and I found it in my own life where actually just eliminating everything that you don't need, focusing on the one thing that you're going to do, focus on one goal. Focus on one goal. Work on that goal. Perfect the strategy that you're using to get to that goal. And you're going to find, okay, now we've at this point where we feel like, yeah, okay, we've achieved that goal. Now we can move on to the next one. When the habits become integrated into the character that you are, I think I've also made another video on this as well in the past, that to integrate, to become, or the higher version of yourself, to become this better version of you, you have to integrate these habits to become to become you as your person. And you do this by making them non-negotiables, doing them every single day. They become a habit. Now you don't have to think about them. Now you can focus on something else. You can divert your attention onto another goal, because all of these now became a part of you. Now you're leveling up. This is how you level up as a person. Leveling up as a person. You're becoming integrated into these characteristics. These habits are becoming integrated into the character that you are, right? Okay, guys, so I think I'm gonna end the video or end the live there. Any last questions that you guys have? Anything else? If not, I'm gonna end it. I think this is a really important video, but I feel like this is usually overlooked. But I hope this really helps anyone watching to get unstuck and this feeling of inaction. It's like you can't take action. You feel just lack of creativity. Okay, so 23 from childhood. I'm also looking at my laptop. That's why I'm looking over here. I was engaged in various things till class 10. I wanted to be army side. I was pursuing hobbies like content creation, athletics, but as a family, don't understand. What is the question you're asking? You're basically asking, like, I'm not sure what is the question exactly that you're asking? So you have these hobbies, content creation, athletics. Your family's not understanding. So how can you engage in these hobbies that you have personally and still engage in them even though your family doesn't understand? Can you figure out a way to do those things? I didn't made that by time. Oh yeah, there's word limits. I didn't made them by time I got my thing to pursue my passion in music. So your passion is music, you want to be... But what is your question? I don't understand. A lot of times people have passions and they just don't know how to make that passion a part of their life or maybe fund their life from that passion, right? The biggest dream people have is like to actually align their passion with their job, their career, where they want their career to be their passion. How do we do that? Start brainstorming ideas of how you can achieve that. How is it possible? Let's say you were actually pursuing that passion. You're pursuing your passion in music. How can you do that and it be fulfilling to you? How do you see it? How does the roadmap look? Or what does the end goal look like? What would that look like? Get more crystal clear of what it looks like. What exactly are you going to be doing in music? Teaching music, creating music. What are you going to be doing in that passion, that road, that path? Make it clear. This is something to journal about. So in this case, I would definitely journal about this and get crystal clear about what this looks like. Even if you want to do a meditation where you're closing your eyes and you're picturing yourself at your ideal state, what does this ideal state look like? What does it sound like? What does it look like? Every single detail. What does it look like? What do you look like? What do you dress like? Who are the people around you? Who do you talk to? How do you live your day? So when you have a passion and you want to do something, you want to be creative about a specific thing, write out a road, like write out crystal clear desires and how you want, like, what do you want it to look like? Let's say you have a business idea for yourself. A lot of people are starting their own businesses. A lot of people have their own businesses, but they're not crystal clear. You have to be crystal clear about what do you want it to look like? What does it look like to have a successful business in your eyes? Make it crystal clear. Maybe that means making a vision board. Maybe the vision board is just not good enough and you need to write out every single detail. Let's start there. Write out every single detail if you want to start there, or you want to start with the vision board. Pictures, maybe sometimes they're easier for different people, and writing out or even talking about it. Maybe you want to make a little video where you're just kind of recording yourself and you're just talking about all the ideas that you have. Maybe a voice memo of you just talking and saying all the ideas that you have. What does it look like to you? The best version, your ideal version of this working out. Oh, I don't know why it keeps pausing here. Okay, so I tried my best for years. I skipped social life, college, as I have a limited amount of finances now. A year ago, I lost close ones because of this. 2025 was do or die year. I want to enroll in myself. And so you're willing to sacrifice for your dream, which is amazing. That's a great first step. So I love that. Although it doesn't have to be, I don't want you to sacrifice your happiness for your goal, right? Your goal at the end state, like your goal should be, you should be enjoying the journey. You should be enjoying getting there. And it gets to be fun. It gets to be exciting. It gets to be joyful. And also ask yourself those questions as well. Even when I'm asking you right now, answer this out. Like maybe you want to answer this right now out loud. Even though I can't hear you, you're answering it to yourself. How can you do this goal and make it be enjoyable? How can you do this goal of yours? How can you get to this goal? How can you do your passion, embark on your passion, and it gets to be enjoyable? And it gets to be easy and fun. Not in like it's a chore or it's like a sacrificial thing where I have to give up all this happiness, give up all these people. How can you be fulfilled doing this? And let's say you do this passion and a lot of other things don't work out. You are sacrificing things. How can you still be fulfilled even though you've lost family, friends, and maybe you've lost more things and maybe you lost just, I don't know, maybe just certain lifestyle that you used to live. You have to sacrifice the person that you are for the person that you could become, the person that you want to become. If I want to become a person that wakes up at 5 a.m., I have to sacrifice the person that's sleeping in, right? So how can I still feel fulfilled and happy waking up at 5 a.m.? Well, I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. and I have maybe my breakfast is ready. I made it the night before. I'm going to feel fulfilled because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have that breakfast I made. It's so perfect. So whatever, overnight oats, and there's bananas on top, and I'm just so excited to eat it. So tastes good. It's just amazing. Okay. Dog walker, aka caretaker, that would be nice for me. Amazing. So you have like a passion in mind. It's good to be passionate. This is literally the creativity. Maybe you have so much more passions you don't even know about. So many people have so many passions they don't even know about. You haven't explored. You haven't given yourself the space. I've been saying this the entire video. The space to reset, to recharge, and actually know what you're passionate about. What are things that you want to put out into the world? What value do you want to bring the world? So many things you guys can do. Okay, I'm gonna end the video there. We're over an hour now. Learning I got a lot and I worked on it and I learned several new things which I was not aware of how my body responds. These are all things that you need to ask yourself and actually let yourself answer. So it's really different. And I've seen this in the past, okay? It's really different to ask yourself the questions but not allow yourself the space to answer them. I want you to allow yourself the space to actually answer these questions. So give yourself an entire page on a paper. Put the question on the top and allow yourself to just write. Even if you want to put bullet points, because maybe sentences, there's just like too much pressure, put bullet points of like an idea that comes to mind. What things are causing problems? You just ask yourself this. What makes me laugh? What type of energy I want to attract? Those are all those are all questions. That could be the title, and just write. Just write. So I want you to do that. I really suggest doing that. Anyone that's watching this video, anyone that's watching the replay as well, write out any question that you have for yourself. Sometimes people have the question of like, what am I meant to do in life? I don't feel happy. What will make me happy? Write that question out and actually give yourself the space to answer that question without distractions. This is a lot different than asking your question and you're walking to the grocery store and you're at the grocery store and you're like, you're not really focused on the question. You're not answering the question. It's a lot different when you're really focused and you're zeroing in on this question. You're allowing yourself the space to answer. You're allowing yourself the space for these answers to come in. Okay, that's what I really want you guys to do. But yes, now I lost again. I got stuck. All learning got lost from my mind as I have no positive memory and no notes I can recall, and it's getting worse. So what makes me laugh? What type of energy I want to attract? But now I lost again. I got stuck. All learning got lost from my mind as I have no positive memory. To be honest, I still don't know what specific question you're asking. But it feels like this video is meant for you. I feel like you are feeling stuck. Your energy feels stuck, which I want you to do this journaling. That's my biggest recommendation to you. Journal it out. Trust me, you're going to feel so much better after you journal this out and you get your ideas flowing. Turn off the distractions. Maybe going a full 24 hours without consuming anything. Let's say tomorrow you go your entire day without scrolling on any social medias, without opening any apps, without texting anybody, or maybe just texting the necessary people, maybe just sending a few text messages out. Don't check your email. Just be with yourself. That's it. Hello, Sharv. How are you? Yeah, so we're coming to the end of this live, which I've been on live for a long time now. That's great. I really hope that this helped you, and I hope that you actually implement these steps, because it's obviously nothing's going to change if nothing changes. So if you don't actually implement it, then it's not going to be of use. It's not going to be helping you. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to actually implement the steps. Even when you're reading a book, you're reading that book, and if you close that book, you finish that book, and you didn't do any of the things they recommended in that book, or anything that was talked about in the book, then you basically read it for nothing, right? You want to actually implement. A quick way to implement is as soon as you read that new point, you're like, that's a good point. I should really try that out. Try that out. Okay? That's the easiest thing to say, is try it out. It doesn't have to mean you have to commit to it. You're just trying it out. Just trying it. Just try it. Just surrender to it. You don't have to be in control all the time. You can genuinely just take someone's advice, read a book, take the advice, try it out. It doesn't have to be like this whole thing of like, do I really want to do that? Is that really necessary? People are always trying to ask themselves questions. Even my past clients have asked themselves, is this really necessary? Do I have to do this? Do I have to do this? Just do it. Just try it, okay? Stop asking yourself so many times, do I have to do it? Do I have to do it? And just try, okay? Amazing. Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff in this video, Sharp. I'm excited for you to watch. This is exactly why you write things down. As soon as an idea comes to you, act on it. You don't want to. I have so many ideas that I didn't act on in the past, and where are they? They're gone because I didn't act on them. Your ideas come up for a reason. Act on them. Write them out and actually act on them. Sometimes writing them out is still not enough. If I have an idea for a video and I don't film it, then the idea is kind of lost because maybe I don't find that motivation and inspiration a few weeks down the line when I look back. Oh, I was supposed to make this video. When I come up with a video idea and it comes to me, like I said, guys, it comes to me in times where I'm not consuming things, where I'm just getting inspired by, like, if I'm just taking a walk, like I mentioned, that is an example. And then that video idea comes up, the best thing to do is act on it. Actually, like, take action. Do that thing. Okay, so I'm finally going to end the video. Thank you guys for watching, for everyone that stayed, like, quite a bit. There's a lot in this video. A lot of ideas, a lot of things, and we're going to stop the video there. Thank you guys for watching. Everything is linked in the description. I have my mindfulness guide, my planner packages that I have created for you guys based on my clients and problems that they've had, problems I've seen, problems in my own life, and just things I think are the most helpful and the most useful. And then I also have an inner workshop as well. So, and then there's also individual coaching. If you guys are interested in individual coaching, I have those all linked in the description. So check those all out. And there's lots of other videos that I can link as well. So thank you guys for watching. Have a good day.